just having potatoes?
Hog Rottens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maurice?
No, some other place.
Yeah. Pat?
Yes, Joe. What
Nice
what do you
victory.
think of Steve's our guy Darnold's throw for the winning touchdown?
He can chuck that pigskin.
In traffic, by the way. They were about ready to knock the hell out of him, and he made that throw to
And not with
Jefferson.
a full stance.
No,
He was
Kirky never makes that play. That was quite a win, to say the least.
Pat, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I think so, as long as they can keep the refs in their back pocket like they got them right now.
Nobody has the refs like Kansas City.
That's
Yeah,
the
they
trouble
do.
with your prediction.
Yes. Although some guy came up with stats that the Chiefs have more penalties in the fourth quarter than any other team.
I
or
believe
something.
it. I absolutely believe it.
But not called in their favor, called against them.
Really?
I'm not
Yeah.
basing my Viking prediction on any technical knowledge.
Just the vibe.
They seem to get along.
Yeah, they do. They
they-
have a good time. Yeah.
If you, I don't. Is this new that they allow cameras in the locker rooms after
It's been around
games?
for a little bit.
I wouldn't do
This
that.
is all
but-
about social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you watched O'Connell speaking to the lads yesterday after the game,
Yeah.
if you just look at the guys,
Yeah.
they care what he's saying.
Yeah.
They're listening to him.
Yeah, he's a great communicator, and the fact he followed Zim into now how many Zim guys are left? 15 maybe.
If that.
Not
yeah.
that many, but yeah, he's a pretty sharp dude. Because I still like him on the sidelines, and once in a while you see him dropping the F-bomb.
Not often.
But he doesn't.
Pretty
He's
calm.
a very calm guy. But here, the game starts yesterday. And I was thinking of Bud Grant, who hated the pick play.
Right.
The first drive, third down, you run one of the great pick plays of all time, and they let it go. You know, they let it go. The Vikings get a first down. They go down and score a touchdown. Then they get the ball, and we mugged a wide receiver, and they don't call it. So we've done well with the officials this year. I think we've done very well with the officials. But that's part of
football. The calls are all arbitrary.
Yes,
you
they
could
are.
call holding, and we've been
And these
through
guys
this.
yesterday are idiots. I mean, they find some guy who twitched and missed the lining up by that far. And
I can't stand it.
no,
but,
I can't either.
But this game
influence-
overpowered the bad officiating.
Oh God, yes, yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're lucky that Geno Smith was playing on one leg too, because he
Yeah.
couldn't move around.
Yeah, but
he's
so was
got-
Darnold, basically.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
also with a bad finger in one of his. I don't know if it's a throwing hand or not.
So are they really going to? What are we going to do here? What are we going to do if this continues? What are they going to do with him? Just let him walk? What are they?
I
do?
have a prediction.
They can't. What if he wins the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they got to bring him back. Yeah.
You got to bring him back.
Do you, though?
Yes.
Or do you franchise him, then trade him for a boatload of draft capital, huh?
Well, I think they're franchising. Yeah, yeah.
And franchise means you can ignore the cap.
No,
No.
he gets to,
No.
so how that works is based upon the position you play, you get the average
You
of the
probably
top
get about
5
40.
paid
You
players
probably get about 40.
at that
Yeah.
position. Yep.
Top 10, I think.
Is it 10? I thought it was 5.
Yeah,
Okay, you might
maybe
be right.
5. If it's a 5, you get 50.
By the way, I looked it up. Quickly glancing at the roster, there's only 7 guys in the roster that played for Zim.
Really? Wow.
I thought it'd be higher than that, but I was just looking at the roster.
What role do you think this Mustafa Muhammad has made, or whatever his name
I think
is?
he's doing fine. I think he's doing a great
The
job.
general manager, Chris. I don't know his
Kwesi
name.
Odofa
Kwesi,
Mensah.
yeah. He's doing fine. He had
I didn't know
a
if you were
bad
talking about a
first,
player.
He had a bad first draft, but so what?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? He's he's running that whole. They got hundreds of people
Yep.
working for him. He's got 26. This is not assistant to the assistants. He's got 26 coaches or 29.
Which
I
I
think it
think
went
is
up to
ridiculous.
29.
Wow.
But it had 5,
Mm-hmm.
and Stubby was not Stubby. What was the guy's name? The one guy was in charge of getting them bargains on refrigerators,
Right.
basically. Buzz Murdy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buzz was like the running backs or something. Chuck, when they hand you the ball, make that guy miss and run for a touchdown. Okay, good enough. And Bud, one of the last times I talked to him, we sat down out there about the second year O'Connell was there, and I sat down and talked to him for a half hour, and he was, what are all these assistant coaches? They don't get it. Drive me crazy to have that many guys around.
It did surface last week because we were playing Seattle, so they had the video of Bud walking out with the polo on, because that's what we played in the playoff game was the Seahawks. That's still great.
And he, whose idea it was? Bud's, yes.
Who did he hand the coat to? Was it Hagen?
They had him. They gave him a. He came down to the sideline with like just a small jacket, and they gave him a big jacket. And he said, "The hell with that!" And then he went to the shirt sleeves.
That's just so fantastic.
Yeah,
it's 28 below. It's
I'm writing this column about the Mud Bowl. By the way,
I thought you've been writing it for about 3 weeks.
Joe remembers being at a hip hop, not a hip hop, but a sop hock prom in Madison, Minnesota. But he don't remember the Mud Bowl being there.
It's slowly but surely
writing about it.
It's coming back to me.
Yeah. Front page of the Tribune. That had to pee off Sydney that you got the front page.
I know.
Anyway,
I was told that she remembers, and I flew out Christmas night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, it's the Bud, it's muddy field, right? It's going to be muddy, and it's been raining for 3 days. Bud comes out and looks at the field and looks at it's soaking, but it's not beat up yet.
No, when the game started, the field was perfect.
Yeah, and Bud says to Bobby Lee, we're going to throw the ball. We're going to be extremely aggressive to start the game. We're going to get a touchdown, and by the middle of the second quarter, nobody's going to be able to stand up.
Right.
There's never been an NFL coach more equipped to be a weatherman than Bud Grant from his hunting days.
Right.
He figured out what the weather was going to be by looking at the geese. If they were flying low, they were sticking around. If they were flying way up there, they were going to Mexico and it was cold. It was going to get cold, They always say that when they're practicing on Saturday, that little practice they have on Saturday, and Bud never looked at the field. He was always looking at the sky to see if anything was going down to the river so he could go down there and shoot some birds. Anyway.
What did you think of those college playoff games?
I really think
that they stunk.
I really think we should go to 16.
Then you could even be
then
more
we can
bothered.
have 8 rotten games instead
terrible.
of 4. Why stick ourselves with only 4 rotten
Let's
games?
have 8 bad games.
Yes, let's have 8. I bet they're going to be extreme. They're going to try to puff up the ratings, but I bet no. They might have had decent ratings for Notre Dame on Friday, but I bet the rest of them weren't too good.
Plus, weren't they going up against NFL on Saturday?
Saturday, they were. Yeah.
I thought the NFL always agreed to not play when colleges played.
No, they remember they started. Well, see, they wait to play Saturdays until allegedly
the colleges are done.
The colleges were done, but not anymore. These guys,
they just don't care.
The poor NBA. The NBA always said, "Okay, we'll seize Christmas." So they started off with 1 or 2 games, and now they got 5 games. Well, now the NBA's got 2, and they're gonna.
Oh, the NFL.
The NFL's got 2 of them on Netflix that day. For God's sake.
How about the fact that you got the Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens, and Houston's are playing 3 games in 12 days,
and they have no, and the league is threatening to fine those coaches if they complain too much.
Oh my God!
So Andy came up with some kind of a big spiel yesterday that would keep him from being fined, while at the same time complaining bitterly that they got 3 games in 12 days.
Does this mean is this game in Kansas City?
That's a good question.
I think it's on the road.
Do we have to go through the Taylor Christmas, the whole?
Oh, God, I didn't even think of that.
She didn't get. I watched a little bit of it. She didn't get much airtime.
God Almighty!
We have
But
got
you don't have the house full of urchins anymore, right?
It's Christmas.
They're all over now.
No, it's not. Christmas is 2 days from now. But we've moved. Oh, the other collection is in town.
What are you talking about? It's Christmas. They'll be there.
Oh,
The whole crew is going to be there.
I mean, yesterday when Taylor was there.
Nobody was around yesterday.
Okay, so you didn't have
I
to
was
watch.
fine yesterday.
You didn't have to watch the Chiefs game.
No.
All right, I got the schedule here. Christmas Day, we're kicking her off at noon. Chiefs at Pittsburgh.
Well, that'll save us.
But will Tay be in
I have
the
no
Steel
idea.
City?
Oh.
She doesn't go on the road.
I don't know
much, does she?
Doesn't she?
I don't think she does go on the road.
All right, then we got 3:30. We got Ravens at Houston.
Ravens
Did you
at
see-
Houston.
And by the way, Patrick, we got flexed. Viking Packers 325.
That was 100%. Who
Well,
cares?
Detroit Vikings last game of the year. That's got to get flexed tonight.
I don't think do they have Sunday night game.
Yeah,
last
they
week?
just don't have Monday night on the last week of the season.
Yeah, we're gonna be a flag. We're gonna be flexed.
It'll
a lot.
definitely be flexed. I love that.
I think Green Bay is a tougher game than Detroit with the way Detroit's banged up. Even though you're on the road, I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't learn much because Detroit did win again, but it was the Bears.
Did you see the trick play Detroit pulled?
No.
Ben Johnson, he's going to be the big hot shot head
somebody's
coaching
gonna hire
candidate
him, yeah.
next year. Probably Chicago might go after him. But they pulled the trick play, boys, where Goff is going to pretend to do the pitch to the running back, Gibbs. Okay?
Yeah.
And everyone pretends that he fumbled the ball. So the lineman and Gibbs, everyone's
You're
pretending to
kidding.
dive for the ball. Meanwhile, Goff turns, spins, and fires a 40-yard bomb to Laporta for a touchdown. It was fantastic.
So the NFL is going to make that illegal.
Oh, 100%.
probably soon,
It will be, but-
you can't pretend like you fumbled.
It was awesome to watch.
Really, I gotta find that.
It was
on
really
video.
great.
And the Bears bought it?
What's the Bears? They're a disaster.
God, are they bad? They were behind like 24-0 right
Something
off the
like
bat,
that,
all
yeah.
right? Yeah, weren't they?
Wait a minute. He didn't fumble?
But Gibbs sold it. The running back,
Yeah.
he sold it. Grady went, he's diving he's diving for the ball, and all the defenders are running towards him. Meanwhile, Laporta's streaking down the field. It was a great play.
Yeah.
He's what? South Dakota State?
Laporta?
Laporta?
No, he's Iowa.
Iowa. That's right.
Yep.
The house of tight ends. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. He's from there.
Our Wild are slumping.
Yes. Yes. We got the Blackhawks tonight, though, right? Here, right?
Yes.
I got to drive to Woodbury. I'm gonna have to take the tricky way to get there because those Wild fans. So you should have seen.
When are you going to Woodbury?
Five or so.
That puts you in the red
Right
zone.
in there.
Yeah.
Here's the
red
deal.
zone.
Today I was coming into the station today at 11:30.
You wear a jacket?
No, this is it, baby.
All right.
29 for God's
God,
sake.
it's balmy out right now.
And they were backed up to 100.
No.
All three, damn near. The outside lane was okay, but they were the next
Why?
two lanes. I don't know.
Crash?
What is wrong with us?
We don't have enough lanes.
Here's we don't have enough lanes, and B, we got too many people who are working at home who aren't working at home. They're just driving around like a bunch of jackasses, you know.
That was the highlight for me last week was when you were in here trying to give directions to the DA on how to get. Yeah, she ain't gonna be here for a bleeping hour.
Yeah, what time did she show up?
About 20 minutes.
About 20.
25 minutes late.
That's what you called. You
Well,
called
she
it about
stays,
that.
You know, she's got to have one more game of mahjong before she leaves. She can't leave in the middle of a mahjong game.
Oh.
You know, I don't know what the hell. It's it's really too late to do anything about it.
That's just the way it is.
It is. It's just just the way it's going.
Oh,
She's She's a treat.
What do we got? We covered everything.
No,
Well, we got the. How about our
covered
stinking
everything.
rotten Timberwolves? God almighty, they're terrible.
Here's my question. We had to trade the cat
We had to
because
to
the
save
salary cap,
ourselves.
right?
Yeah.
Why
but
didn't
it's
they?
been a bad trade.
Why didn't they trade Rudy?
I don't think anybody wanted Rudy.
But he only had 1 year left on his deal,
I know. We gave him 3 extra
and
years.
we added 3 years to it. Now
You
we're
know
stuck
what
with that stiff.
You know what's very important in basketball?
Guys that can score.
The ability to shoot.
Yeah.
I would
And
say so.
You know what their problem is? They can't shoot. There's got Terry Kunze, my guy, basketball guy, 1961, Duluth Central, watched more basketball than anybody in the history of man. And I'm talking to him a couple years ago, and he said this to me, and I had the exact same thought. He said, I like everything about Ant, but every time he shoots, I think he's going to miss. And now I felt the same way. And he made a few shots. But now you feel that way about anybody who shoots for this team. None of them can shoot. And Randall, he's just, I can't figure out why they are playing him that much and letting him have the ball all the time unless they're figuring out, thinking they can trade him. But Jace Frederick from your paper had this stat on how much less Naz Reid is playing in clutch time with Randall here than he was
With Cat.
With Cat. He played more in the clutch when Cat was here than with this guy.
That doesn't
I
make
don't know
any
what's
sense.
going on. I don't know what's
And
going on.
the other thing with Ant is when he can sense that things are not going to go their way that night, he has a bit of check out to him.
He has been. He can't make any shots lately, but he's.
Well, how could
he's going to
that
get
be?
him. He can get himself. He can get himself. I think he might get himself fined again.
Yeah.
Because now I don't know if it's the formal interview they can fine you for, or just what you say in the locker room. Because if they start fining him for what he says in the locker room, the fact he's making $30 million isn't going to be enough.
Right.
You know, he was going off again.
But how do you lose the ability to shoot?
You know what I'm saying? Right now he's cold.
Well,
but
Joe wants
also,
him to do that every night.
why don't you
Here's
score
the
30
other-
points every night?
Here's the other thing. He can no longer, we all want him to get to the basket, take the ball to the basket. But as he points out, because nobody can shoot, they got the lane all clogged up. If he wants to get to the basket, he's got to go through 3 guys. Because they don't have any shooters. It's the guy they got from the Knicks, Steven Sizzo, was supposed to be a shooter, but he's not making any shots.
Boy, he stinks.
They play tonight.
Who do we got?
They are at Atlanta.
Is that that's a decent time game?
6:30 p.m. Mm-hmm. They're on TV.
You know who's? We talked about this last week, but you know who's going to get sick of the fact that they're now the TNT now covers them. Your Minnesota Wild hockey team.
You don't like to start at 8:30.
They're going to have a 8:53 the other night.
Yeah.
They dropped the puck at 8:53, and TNT's losing basketball. So you're going to have 2 nights a week, and we are considering a Western outpost. So you're going to. I bet there'll be 4 or 5 8:53 games next year.
Tonight the Wild are on FD.
That's FanDuel.
FanDuel now. That's
FD.
the old BSN.
Right, but they're on FDSN
Yes.
X.
Is that the alt channel?
Yes.
Or what we used to call the plus?
I think so.
Do you get them both?
I think so.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I think you can get them.
Are the Blackhawks still terrible?
Yes.
Even
Oh, they
with
just-
Bedard.
Who they just beat? They beat somebody important. Oh, I meant to tell you. Have you heard of a player? In fact, I got to look at the schedule. Would you
can
do
do it.
that for me?
Sure, what are you looking
when
for?
does San Jose come here?
Wild.
Have you heard of this player San Jose's got called Macklin Celebrini?
Wasn't he the high draft pick?
He's 18.
Yeah.
Oh, they got him playing? They brought him right to the league.
Yeah.
He's the number one choice.
Now,
right?
in stats, I can't find anything to back up the claim that he's a phenom. I think he must have just joined them.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying when they play them at home, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. No, I'm going to fly to San Jose.
That's what I was assuming.
Maybe the Guns will take you out there in the private airplane.
We host the Shark Wednesday, April 9th.
Oh,
What?
by then the season's over.
And it's also Prince night. So
And it's going to be Macklin's Celebrini night if he's anything like the... And there's so little accumulated about him
Prince
because...
never saw a hockey game in his life.
Yeah.
Leave Prince alone. Leave the poor little guy alone.
What's going to get him?
Prince night. Why is anybody having Prince night?
See, but you give me grief because when Height had in his news he's getting a special Grammy, I had the same thought. Why does he need a Grammy? He's got 7 Grammys.
Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifetime. He's not alive.
Yes, that takes some of the...
How about when you
takes
get
some
that
of
when you're alive?
That takes some of the celebration away from it, right?
This Celebrini is... I can't find a lot about him, but he must have just joined the team from Boston College,
he was
I
their
think.
number one draft choice, yeah.
And his brother... I think he's got a 12-year-old brother.
Who's supposed to be
who's,
God?
Let's say Macklin is Tiger. The 12-year-old brother's Charlie.
Is Charlie? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Where are they from? Out there.
They grew up in Vancouver. But
North Vancouver.
But
I
the
got it
old
right
man
here.
works for one of the NBA teams. They moved to California, and that's
NBA teams.
Yeah.
And they became hockey players.
Yeah.
Boston U in 2022, and he played for something called the Chicago Steel.
Okay.
So is that
in,
USHL?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I think it's the North American one. But
Do you have stats right now with the San Jose's?
I'm looking for those.
I just don't think he's
Well, what
even
He was born June 13th, 2006.
right.
Did you just stumble across
I
him?
stumbled across a highlight in which he did a thing. Mind blowing.
He has played in 24 games, Joe. 11 goals, 12 assists, 23 points. His
That
plus
was-
and minus, though, is -6.
18. That was
Yeah, but
Bell.
San Jose is a bad club.
Oh, they're terrible. Bellows, wasn't he 18?
I think
I
so.
think he was 18.
Yeah.
Hey, Bellows.
You know,
You know what else he
Celebrini,
was?
Celebrini is a Shattuck kid.
Really? He's from Faribault.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
You know that Faribault's a hell
Boy,
of a
we are-
hockey town.
Remember how mad
You gotta-
people would get? Boy,
Look up Celebrini's-
hometown kid, Crosby, Sidney Crosby from
Sidney
Faribault.
Crosby, still
He's
playing.
not from
Still
Faribault.
playing. Sidney Crosby. Listen, if he hadn't grown up in the mean streets
right.
of Faribault, he wouldn't have been.
Right there on Westwood Drive.
Celebrini, how many games those Shaddick teams play? About 50?
Something like
Well,
that.
he had 50 goals.
Really?
My favorite Shaddick memory is Coles's kid was there.
His daughter,
Shaddick.
yes.
His daughter went to Shaddick for a year, and she had a buddy who he ended up married. I don't think it lasted too long, but the son married. But Jay's the best man for his son's wedding up in Grand Forks. We're up there, and he starts talking about his son sneaking down to see his now wife.
Yep.
And the old man is a French guy. And this went over like the proverbial whore in church, you know. It was unbelievable. Just went clunk. Jay thought he was hilarious, but it didn't quite work out like he'd hoped.
When do the Wild play at the Shark, or have they already?
I don't know. I can pull that up again.
This is unbelievable. I can't see this kid in person until April 9th.
No.
We got something to look forward to there in the springtime.
That's got to be damn near the end.
It is the next.
Gotta be
Their
the
next
last game.
Their next game is Fan Appreciation Night. I don't believe they're celebrating Prince that night, though. Just the night against the Shark.
What are they going to give him? The Twins gave him cigarette lighters or some damn thing this year. And I don't know what it was. Something like a little Hey, I got a present from the Twins. You know, you get the little gift. You know, $20 worth. I said, "Kid, it's some little leather thing." I said, "What the hell is this?" Turns out it's a luggage bag
Tag. Yeah.
I don't want some great big leather bag. You know.
Well, I can't help you. I mean, you're bitching about the present you got for free. I mean,
I'm
you
just
can
saying.
re-gift it.
I would have re-gifted
Re-gift
it, but who wants to? Then they'll all say, "What's he giving me this for?"
Yeah.
You know?
What
it's
do
a
you care?
re-gift.
It's out of your hands.
It's 100% re-gift. That's for sure. I got to find somebody who flies some to go. So we should. What else should we cover here today?
I'm trying to see if we've already. It looks like we may have already played the Shark.
I
yeah,
think
we
we
played.
did.
We played them.
Was he up here then?
No, we played him.
I'd vaguely heard of that guy. He's supposed
We
to be
played them on
something.
November 7th. I've got it right here. We won 5-2.
I don't think he was even up on November 7th.
Okay.
Joe, I got to bring one thing up for you, and then we can go.
What's that? I'm in no hurry. I got nothing.
So this guy in this quarterback who our guy Jerry Kill had at New Mexico State, and then went to Vanderbilt, and he first 2 years. So this was his fifth year. He played 2 years at New Mexico Military Institute, which is a junior college. Mm-hmm. Then he played 2 years at New Mexico State, and now he's played this year at Vanderbilt. And he went to court to get an injunction to not have those junior college years count in his 4-year college eligibility. And the judge ruled in his favor.
You're kidding.
So now
He's gonna be playing when he's 33.
we're gonna have like 29-year-old college guys. You know, Parker Fox is already an 8th-year player. If he'd only went to junior college, he could be a 10-year player.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
So Tanner
Every
Morgan's saying, "Wait a minute here. I could have had a 9th year."
I'm not done yet. You know, what the hell?
Did he catch on with anybody?
We signed him. The Vikes signed him.
I didn't know that.
As a practice squad
He was on
guy.
a practice squad, so.
But he also, I think, spent a minute with Pittsburgh, but I don't think he's with anybody currently.
But this guy might get drafted, Brosmer.
You think so?
They liked him. Somebody, plus you're at the end of the draft, so.
Sure.
But he's probably got eligibility left now.
Now he does, right. I have your information, by the way, on Celebrini. He grew up as a fan of the Vancouver Canucks. We assumed that. His father, Rick, was a soccer player for the Vancouver 86ers and also later worked for the Canucks. He was hired by the Golden State Warriors of the NBA as their director of sports medicine and performance.
Was he a
Medicine.
doctor?
No, it's the trainer probably.
Yeah.
Trainer type of thing.
His older brother, Aiden, was drafted by the Canucks in the 6th round in the 2023 draft. And his younger brother, he also has a younger brother that plays hockey. So there you go.
Wonder how Dad was at the kids' games when they were 10.
Might have been a little intense.
I don't know. Maybe they were. Well,
Would have been
I know?
entertaining.
Could
Could
be
be
the
10,
nice-
the kid was Gretzky.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, anyway. I
got two things.
I don't have much
No, I
hockey
got
to go to. Go
three
ahead.
things.
Yes.
Two things that have
One.
been on my mind a long time.
Okay.
There's a kid somewhere, let's just say in Africa somewhere.
Yes.
Ethiopia or
Sure.
Nairobi, wherever. And he's plotting that he can go to America and make $1 trillion by learning how to do an onside kick that he does it a certain way that it bounces. It has to be touched by their team, though, doesn't it?
No.
Doesn't have to
No,
be
but
touched.
it's
by
gotta
their
to
go
go 10 yards.
10
that it goes 10 yards and bounces directly backwards.
Yes, that guy could
Okay?
get very, yes.
And then he's going to be a big celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one I wanted? Oh, for 100 years, hockey on offense, throw the puck in and go get it.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way.
Well, carrying it in is a better way,
There's
right?
got to be a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been racking my brain. I can't come up with it. But I got the kid in Africa is going to perfect a
Yes,
kick
sure.
that can go backwards. He's going to figure out. He's going to figure out the physics of how what part of his foot should touch it or whatever. He's going to do it. It's going to come backwards.
The NFL will then make it illegal because they don't
Probably.
like onside kicks.
But
Who's
and then
gonna score the
hockey's going
goal?
to figure out how to own the puck as they enter the zone. The team that has the puck is going to figure out how
Cannot
to.
score without the shot.
You need many shots.
That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Leopold told me that he's going to get Jacques back to say, let's play hockey one of these
Really?
Oh
days.
boy.
I don't think
Didn't we have him
Jacques
on?
isn't doing it for free, I'll tell you that.
Didn't we have him on and he was at the beach or something? During
Yeah,
the
we did have
didn't
him.
we?
Yeah, it was for what?
Yeah.
What was it
man.
for?
No, I was part of that, wasn't I?
Were you?
I remember he's in Sarasota.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
was saying, "Oh, I'm entertaining the grandkids" or something like that.
Maybe I
he's
wasn't
a
here.
big boat guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's around the Mexico, around the Gulf.
He's probably down by Louis, right?
No,
No, Louis
he's
the
on
other
the other
side.
side.
He's on the other side,
Louis
okay.
on the,
Louis not a boat guy,
Louis,
Oh, he's not.
a golf guy. But I think Jacques also a
Louis-
golf guy.
Louis got a big calendar.
Yeah.
Him and all the other tax dodgers, they gotta mark off 6 months in about 3-4 days. Just to,
Just to be sure.
yeah. I mean, as I said so eloquently when they honored John Anderson this year at the Naples, Minnesota club
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
There was about 300. I said to him, "Oh man, I've never been around so many. It's comforting to be around this many tax dodgers. You know, they all got to count off that 6 months and 3 days, and then they're home. You know, but they're very careful not to get caught. You know, so
Well, they not only don't get caught, they follow the rule of the law.
oh God, yes, they do.
But because they check on you. Don't you have to have your doctor's got to be down there, and you got to have a.
I know we got to make you a lot of. Yeah,
They got a lot of hoops they got.
yes, they do. And Louis next year.
Yeah.
He's got, he's like the host for the World Junior.
Right.
And so he's going to have to be up here like for 3 weeks between the middle of December and January. So,
Ooh.
hell, he won't be back till July next year.
Well, I suppose he doesn't do the hockey tournament anymore, does he?
No, but he does. He is doing some the wild games in the South this year. But
I'll do all the Florida games.
Florida games, yeah. He does the Florida games, and then once in a while he'll sneak up to. I suppose if you sneak up to Raleigh, you can do a game and get back that night till
Sure.
it counts. I don't know. So I don't think he gets offended when I call him a tax dodger because I think I told him that to his face. So I mean, yes, he'd be proud of that. I told you I'm not going to give you the number, but when he bought this. He bought the oldest house in Wisconsin or something that had been moved to the lake up there that he lives on, that he's got a spot. Somebody moved this house from like 1860 or 70 or something, this brick thing.
I didn't
And
know
they
Louis had a house in
Put
Wisconsin.
it on a lake up there, yeah. And to replace his thing. And then he's got a barracks next to it for all the grandkids and stuff. I haven't been up there yet. But anyway, when he did that, I was, I called him up. I said, Louis, how much you pay for that place? Kind of casually.
Yeah.
Gave me the number right up the bat, right up the top. Louis, I tell you what, though, one of the 5 greatest characters I've ever met in my life. Just unbelievable. He's still the product of what I consider the greatest offensive line in my journalism career when I said the North Stars were Louis was so upset that Gordon Gund was leading him through the press box. Because Louis used to help Gordon, who was blind, through the press box. He had to know.
Did the Guns own the Shark?
Still do. I think they do. I think they still do. Yeah.
Look it up.
I think Gordon's still alive. I think George died.
Yeah.
George was the one who wanted to move to the Bay Area
Yeah.
when they did the whole thing. I think Gordon's still their owner. I think he is. Maybe not.
It looks like it's called the Plattner Ownership Group.
Probably a bunch of tech guys from California.
Here we go. Plattner is the governor of San Jose Sports Entertainment Enterprises, which owns the Sharks. He was a charter member of the group that bought the team from George Gund in 2010.
Oh.
Wow. They've been out of there a long time then. Okay. Yeah. What's the Christmas plan here?
We ain't going to be here.
We're heading to my folks tomorrow afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
does your mom? Can she get low energy enough to do any cooking?
She's a fantastic cook. Oh yeah,
you got to meet his mother. She's an oddball,
to say the least.
Yes. She's going through the stands with the beer sales standings, trying to intimidate fans.
Harassing people that were empty-handed.
Yes.
Who's this?
My mom.
His mother.
At the state baseball tournament. She was harassing the people that hadn't purchased beer yet.
She had a fan-based beer contest that was cutthroat, man.
Hey, Montgomery, you guys are behind here. Let's go.
Yes.
What do you think of all the stuff flying around?
The drones.
I haven't been paying much attention. I don't see any in my neighborhood.
Nobody really cares.
No, we mean like New Jersey, East Coast.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's got to be the Chinese.
See?
Doesn't it?
You made fun of me for saying that.
I don't trust them.
Reaver's a Chinese guy.
There's too damn many of them.
Right.
There's,
First they tried the balloon.
Yeah.
We shot that thing down. Now they upped the technology. Now they're going drones on us.
Yes, I think so. The drones, I don't approve of drones anyway.
Do I add drones to the list?
Yes, I don't like drones.
I better add drones to the list.
It's but pretty soon they're gonna be watching you all the time. They're gonna be watching you.
For what purpose?
I don't know why they'd be watching me.
I gave you too much information.
I hope it's not to see how well I'm getting along with the wife these days.
I don't think they're issuing reports.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it's a big deal, but for some reason, and I haven't figured it out, but I'm on double secret probation.
Oh,
right
no.
now. Yeah, unbelievable. All right.
I'm done.
I do need to hear about our friends at the Valley Group to wrap
beautiful.
up the Christmas season.
I heard that somebody told me that they were out until next year in January. No, we're good today.
We got one more with our good buddies at the Valley Group.
Jim Paul and Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. What a time to buy a car. I bet you could go out there tomorrow, drive it home on Christmas Eve if you wanted to. They got 180, at last count, 183 vehicles ready to move, brand new ones. And you got low interest rates, 0.9, 1.9, a 0 if you want yourself a Hummer EX, 0 for 60 months. What a vehicle that'd be for the kids, huh? Mm-hmm. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers, 4 different varieties of SUVs, Buicks, fantastic. The big Sierra heavy-duty trucks, many of those are looking good right now. And also the smaller trucks. Canyon, right? Canyon, I think the other smaller trucks are. So Reavers is bought from them. He can tell you what good guys they are. Jim Paul, Brett Paul, Valley Group of GM dealers. They're my guys. Apple Valley and Hastings, by the way.